guys, this is Lachette with Scarlet Moon Creations, and I'm back with a new video. This will be my January elemental reading and February preview. Now for my outfit, you may think, oh, I did this right after the December elemental reading video, but no, it's actually almost 3 months later. The thing is, I accidentally filmed a whole video about this with the wrong cards. And it felt really odd, but I couldn't quite figure out why until 2 months later, and here we are. So yeah, as you can see, I now have spring decor behind me, but let's jump right in. As always, I start off by looking at my air card from the Thoth Tarot, and this, let me just darken it a little bit, is the Seven of Wands. So this card shows 6 wands being crossed by a more staff looking type of wand, and the Seven of Wands it's representing the element of air for me, my thoughts, my mindset, where communication lives, and so speaking and that kind of thing. But yeah, everything that element of air governs is represented in this card for the month of January. And it's, as you can see, like the 6 wands are balanced out and kind of fancy, and then the 7th one in the middle, not so much, disrupting the flow of the harmony that was the balance of 6. And it's not something I see really negatively, or like, it represents, there's a battle, something I have to put work into keeping that balance, keeping the flow, just dealing with challenges. And that's definitely what I dealt with in the month of January. Mentally, like, there no guarantee for success, just me putting in the work, and to me that was really where I was at with the goals, the annual objectives, my depth year goals. I had set those, and now it's time to start thinking about how I'm going to make those happen. And one major one that falls into this sphere is kind of like following the systems that I already know and love and know that work for me. Another goal was to or more of a subset of that goal. One of the things I like to do is the miracle morning routine, and I'm trying to get back into that, and a big portion of that is mental meditation, being in silence with myself, with my thoughts, and with my feelings, and visualizing what I want to come into fruition in my life, what I'm working towards, visualizing those goals being accomplished and being worked towards. Another part of the miracle morning that's very much a mental activity is affirmations, saying these things to myself on a regular basis out loud, so that I can hear and start to believe what I'm saying to myself. And there's getting myself in the mental space of having that routine and doing it regularly and not passing over too often into the negative headspace of thinking, oh, I can't do it, or I don't want to do it, or this doesn't work, and that kind of thing. Like, trying to keep a positive mindset, because it does, even though maybe it doesn't 100% of the time. The percentage is like 85 to 90% of the time when I do it, it is a routine that helps set my day up to be productive, not so much work, but getting things that make me feel good accomplished. So it's a struggle to try to create new habits, particularly on the mental sphere. And so I think that is what that Seven of Wands, the Valor, meant. It was a struggle in January, though not as much of a struggle as, say, maybe the Five of Wands would have been, but putting in the work, even though I know it would be hard, trying is the better part of valor. So my fire card from my Deviant Moon deck is the Three of Wands. And actually I think this card is very pretty. I like it. It's very green. And as you see, the person is not only watching their plants grow, but also kind of nurturing them there. If I can get this thing to focus in a little bit better. And they're getting a little bit of moon energy as well. So fire is the spirit, the will, the fire in your belly, creativity, and all of that stuff. So again, January being kind of like a waiting and watching period. Like, I planted some seeds creatively, and now I need to feed them. They've started to grow, but I still need to watch them and feed them and try to get more out of them. And hold on. So the thing about doing this video so far after that time has passed, I don't remember everything I did during that time period, so bear with me. But starting the Plant Ally project, the working with the colors of the month, the fairies of the month, and also still being creative in my bullet journal like I want to, if I can't anywhere else. Working out some creative plans. These are just the beginnings of, again, going back to that annual objective of working with the systems that I already know. These are the beginnings of practices that I've always wanted to do. Color and art are really important to me, and I like having them as a part of my spiritual practice, and also using them to learn more about myself. And again, struggle, and I have to put in something to get something out of it, but definitely starting to see things grow out of them. Also, planning for the future creativity in the year, putting down those seeds, and putting my will out there that this is the kind of stuff that I want. So that's where we start sliding a little bit into the witchcraft and the magic, like putting the energy out there to bring in more of what I want for myself in the future of this year. There's a couple of creative endeavors that I'm really like I gotta put in the work, but I also gotta put in the will, to show others that this is what I want, that I'm willing to put in the work, so they can see that I'm putting in the work, so we can work together, to lift us all up, really. So that is my fire card for January. Next, my water card from the Llewellyn Tarot is the Five of Wands. So it's a card that is about fighting fighting with oneself, fighting with others. Not necessarily physically fighting, but definitely being at odds. All of these guys with their wands or sticks or whatever, not going in the same direction. What could they possibly be building together? They can't, because no one's paying attention or working together. And that is the least of what this card could be. The worst, like I said, fighting, purposefully going against the grain, and I don't feel like it was that for me this month. This is a water card. Emotions, the unknown, and this one's a little bit harder to pinpoint once again, from that time, like how I was feeling emotional, not exactly following the plan. I think most often for me personally, my water and air are the ones that kind of go against each other. And this was a very wandy month. So wands usually represent the element of fire, action, and water kind of emotions and things and feelings. And in this card, this card in this position, it shows that it's not always, it's often that these two don't work so well together. They kind of work against each other often, but that's not always a bad thing. But in this case, not so great. I just had to work on overcoming this, not letting emotions, have me all over the place. I don't know that I exactly succeeded, but there it is. And last but not least, my Earth card from the, I almost said the wrong deck, from the Fairies Oracle, Mick the Myromancer. So very, very earthy card. As you can see, this guy here is blending in with the earthiness around him, and he's in black and white. This is an oracle deck rather than a tarot deck, so this card is a little bit different as always. And let's see. Earth representing the physical body, physical space, groundedness, finances, all of that stuff. So it could be a lot. And I think he's really about noticing the details. Like, you really got to get up close to see what's going on in this card. And about being grounded and having patience, not being in a rush. And January was really about, now that I have these large plans, how am I going to figure out how to accomplish them? And there was some mental gymnastics, there was some emotional gymnastics, there was some spiritual gymnastics, but by the end of the month, I definitely had it like I have to sit down and delve deep, particularly into figuring out my financial situation and how I'm going to get out of it. Also, this was the beginning of the Plant Ally project for me, which is working with plants, working with essential oils on a in-depth level. I also did an elderberry class and made my own elderberry tincture, which this is finally strained out and ready to make. So learning the details of stuff that I had skimmed over, it very much highlight of what the depth year is. And if you're wondering what I mean by depth year, you can see my depth year video, or I should say my 2019 annual review and setup video, where at the end I talk about my depth year up there. There are timestamps, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. But instead of skimming over this, finally like settling down to learn the nitty gritty of a lot of this green witch earth stuff, but also financial things as well. So those were my cards for January 2019. Now, as always, I will give you guys a glimpse at my February cards. So first, for air, I have the Four of Swords. Very balanced card. I know for some, 4 is not a positive number, but I don't know. Maybe it's a Western thing that even numbers are a little bit better than odd numbers, but in Eastern wise, or astrologically, 4 is like the square, and so things are fighting against each other. But I look at this and I see like the 4 musketeers, and because there were 4 originally, and like working towards one goal in the center. So there's that. And then my fire card is the 10 of Wands here, and this guy is overburdened, barely able to see where he can go. My water card is Taliesin from Welsh mythology, and he is the Hierophant. There you go, you can see it a little better. And the Hierophant represents usually like structure and rules, not necessarily a bad thing, though I kind of often think of them as that. But this is my water card, so I guess trying to put structure to my emotions or dealing with them. That'll be interesting. And last but not least, my earth card is the Glockener. Not one of my favorite cards. He's kind of a liar or a fibber, one who hides behind a mask, as you can see there. Illusions, not quite what you see. So that is my January 2019 elemental reading and my February month ahead preview. Thank you so much for watching. My February elemental reading will be coming out relatively soon, since I had to refilm this one. So please look out for that. Thanks as always for watching. If you would like a reading from me, there are links in the description down below to my Etsy shop. Again, thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.